Hey guys, what's going on? I'm back with another video. First and foremost, I hope your Wednesday is going well. So what I want to do in this video today is a little bit different. So first of all, I want to just emphasize all the GTA 5 stuff. That's all still a go. We're still doing that, so don't worry. This is just sort of like a side series I kind of wanted to try out here. But obviously all that other stuff, I'm still making all of that. So for a while now, people have, sent me messages and left comments and things like that, just asking about different sports and teams and games and stuff like that. And I think it's because, in my videos, not all the time, but occasionally I do kind of bring up like big games and sports and teams and all that. Every now and then I'll kind of bring it up. And I thought it would be a cool idea just to try something new, something different. So I'm no master prognosticator of games. I'm not a bookie or anything like that. But I thought it would be fun to just kind of go through week by week, the different games, different football games that are going on, and just kind of give my take on the games that are going on, who I think's going to win. You basically just kind of go through and pick games week by week and sort of give my take on what's going on. So obviously we're going to be starting with week 6 here, a little bit late to the party, but better late than never, of course. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started talking about these games. So the first game this week, it's the Thursday night game. It's Denver playing San Diego, so it's an away game for Denver. Broncos are playing in San Diego. Now, obviously, Denver's a heavy favorite to win. I mean, they're the better all-around team. They're a stronger team. The hope that San Diego does have is that, and you don't like to speculate about injuries or health or anything like that. Gary Kubiak is going to be out this game. I guess he's ill. He's dealing with like a headache issue or whatever. I did notice, I did watch the Falcons-Broncos game this last week, and I did notice he didn't look right. Like I was, the people who I was watching the game with, like I did point out, like he was like on a knee. He was kind of like bent over, calling plays or something. So hopefully, he's all right. But they have announced he will not be calling plays for this game. I think it's the special teams coordinator is who they're going to have in there as the interim coach. Trevor Siemian, I'm not quite sure what's going on with him. I think, Paxton Lynch, he's definitely more than serviceable. However, he, losing to the Falcons. I mean, the Falcons did a good job. We're not going to take anything away from them this last week. But, if there's a game, where they, would have the best chance of, beating Denver, it's probably this one. It's an away game for Denver. They're out a head coach. They might be out their quarterback or their starter for this game. But obviously, they're the heavy favorite to win. In terms of when you have to play Denver at home, it's really hard to win. I know Atlanta just did it, but, obviously Denver was a few cards short of a deck in that game, but they weren't too undermanned. It was a legitimate win. Let's not take anything away from Atlanta. Let's look at how Denver beats you at home. The altitude, it's cold. The stadium is loud as hell. Von Miller goes off in those types of settings. You see that spin move he does coming off of the line, just, putting quarterbacks on their back. So they're, it's very intimidating to play Denver at home, especially like a Sunday night game. It's a really tough spot to play. But that's not quite the spot the Chargers are going to have this weekend. Like I said, if there's a game they could win against Denver, it's probably going to be this one, but I wouldn't bet on it. So, next game is, we're going to Sunday now, Sunday the 16th, 1 p.m. We got the Eagles playing the Redskins. I got the Eagles winning this game just because of what happened in their last game. I don't want to say they were exposed because they were a great team, but they were, coming off that 4-0 streak. They were, had the bye week there. It was kind of like too good to be true almost if you've been following the Eagles these last few years. So, I know that they're definitely mad, at the way they lost this game. Everybody kind of had all these high hopes for them. I guess I should walk that back. Eagles fans definitely had high hopes seeing them go 4-0. Carson Wentz is he's for real. So I think the Eagles are going to have they have an edge. They're going to play this game with an edge. They've got something to prove. So if I had to pick a team, I'd pick the Eagles. The Redskins, they're not awful. They're not Cleveland. They're not Jacksonville. They're not, down there. They're definitely, I'd call them a contender. I think they're not that bad. I think they're a pretty good football team. However, I think the Eagles kind of have an axe to grind in this game here, so I'm going to go with the Eagles. So next game, oh my God, Steelers and Dolphins at 1 o'clock. Jesus. All right, so if it's not 60-0 by the obviously Steelers are going to blow out the Dolphins here. I mean, like I said, anything can happen. We saw what happened with the Steelers and the Eagles a few weeks ago, with the Eagles blowing out the Steelers. I mean, that was really incredible. Really, nobody saw that coming. I don't think anybody really had that take going into that game. But obviously, the Dolphins, ever since the season started, in terms of power rankings, they've been sinking lower and lower and lower. I mean, like Ndamukong Suh, I mean, he's a great player, but he hasn't been doing a whole lot. Like Kiko Alonso. I mean, they have potential on that team. That's the thing. I mean, maybe Ryan Tannehill isn't the answer. I mean, everybody's kind of ranking on him, hanging, the kind of the failures of the Dolphins on him. I'm not sure if that's what it is. I mean, they have the pieces. I mean, they might not have a full deck, but I think it's really kind of unfortunate what's going on with Miami right now. But I think obviously, if you don't live under a rock, the Steelers are definitely heavy favorites to win this game. I mean, offense, they're explosive. I mean, Big Ben to Antonio Brown all day. Their offense is explosive. They have a shutdown defense. Well, no, Denver is a shutdown defense. The Steelers, they're pretty darn good. So obviously, I mean, I think you have to go with the Steelers here. So moving on, next game, 1 o'clock game. Oh man, this is a real garbage matchup. We got the Jaguars and the Bears, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chicago Bears. Does it matter really who wins this game? I mean, does it really? Is it going to make a difference for either of these teams? Probably not. Really, I think you can make an argument that either of these teams could win, but at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it's Jacksonville and it's the Bears. I mean, we're talking about 1-4 and 1-3, so kind of you can make whatever argument you want there. So moving on. Oh boy, we're just really striking out with these matchups here. We've got the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans. Oh man, I mean, again, really, for either of these teams doesn't matter. I mean, I have a take on this one. I've got Cleveland winning just because they're like 0-5 now. They got just a complete beatdown from Tom Brady and the Patriots. They're 0-5. They just lost. I think they just released Charlie Whitehurst yesterday, who was like the backup to 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 the backup to. I mean, they've had like 26 quarterbacks, I think. In like 16. There was like some graphic up on NFL Network. They've just had so many starting quarterbacks. It's really a joke. Obviously, their starter, I don't even know I don't even think they know what a starter is. They've had so many. It's really a turnstile in Cleveland right now. But Cleveland starter Cody Kessler, I mean, they're hopefully he can play. But the hit he took that was a hit. He got right into the ground. I don't know if it was his shoulder or his ribs or what it was, but he got taken down, and then Charlie Whitehurst came in. Guy looks like Jesus, did nothing, I think. Well, I think he had one touchdown. I mean, he was serviceable, but they got rid of him yesterday anyway. So, I mean, really, I got Cleveland just because they can't go 0-6. I mean, they're not the 2008 Detroit Lions. I mean, they can't. I know it's bad, but they got to win one game. So, I mean, yeah, I got Cleveland. All right, so another 1 o'clock game here. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals and the New England Patriots. I've got the Patriots. I don't know how you could bet against them right now. I mean, Tom Brady's back. He's angry as hell. Now, I mean, beating the Cleveland Browns isn't exactly an achievement, but if you watched any of that game, I watched some of it, where the Patriots played the Browns. I mean, Tom Brady, the whole team was fired up. They were pissed. I mean, they really haven't had a deep ball consistently since Randy Moss, but it looks like they do now. I mean, there were a couple of deep balls there in I think, what was it, like in Arizona? Like, I think one of their first plays the Patriots had was a deep ball. I mean, they've got that, obviously they've got Gronkowski and then that other tight end they brought in from, was it Chicago? What was his name? Bennett, Martellus Bennett. He's a monster. They've got so many weapons on offense. It's kind of scary. As far as the Bengals are concerned, I mean, I have a hard time not considering them a contender just because they were last year. I mean, when I looked at the matchup, I thought, that's, that might be a close game. But they really, this season, it's kind of been underwhelming with them. I mean, I know some of their losses you can attribute to the Denver Broncos and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, those are serious teams, as I've been talking about here. But I mean, they just lost to, who was it, Dallas? I mean, I know Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott there for real, no question about it. But still, I mean, I don't know. I just have a hard time not being underwhelmed by the Bengals. So, I mean, and like I said about the Patriots, they're hot, they're angry, they've got the weapons. I'm going with New England. And just kind of, a little bit more on the Patriots. I mean, I think their one loss was it like to the Bills? I mean, I think if they didn't lose to the Bills, they could probably go undefeated this season. I know everybody likes to talk about undefeated seasons now. We saw the Panthers almost did it last season. They went 15-1, and then they got their doors blown off by Denver in the Super Bowl. Realistically, if they didn't lose to the Bills, to Rex Ryan there, I mean, I know they were on like their third stringer, and they were 3-0 and all that. When they lost to him, I think they could have gone undefeated this season. I really think the Patriots probably could have gone undefeated. I mean, the matchups I'd circle as close games are ones they could lose. It's Seattle, it's Pittsburgh, and Denver. They have to play, so those are going to be some good matchups there. But they have just so many weapons on offense. I wouldn't bet against them really in most games. But so obviously I've got the Patriots winning here. Next game, 1 o'clock game, Buffalo Bills, San Francisco 49ers. I've got the Bills, the San Francisco 49ers. They're not about anything. I hate to break it to you. They just announced, I think, Kaepernick's going to be starting in this game, so depending on what you think about him, especially with what's been going on with him, you can kind of... No, I think the Bills are going to win. I don't really think you can make a case for San Francisco winning. I mean, maybe Kaepernick, a new guy behind center might change things up, but probably not that much. I mean, Buffalo, all they really got going for them is they've got a good defense. I mean, sort of got Rex Ryan. If you watch the Bills at all, it looks like he blitzes on every play. It's like a 5-year-old playing Madden and just kept pressing blitz. So yeah, I'm going with Buffalo. I mean, San Francisco, there's just too many holes to plug for them. So I'm going with Buffalo. Next game, another 1 o'clock game. Baltimore Ravens, New York Giants. I'm going with Baltimore winning this game just because, I mean, talk about a drop-off. If you look at what's happened with Baltimore, I mean, they were, for a few years, they were like in the 2012 season, that's when they won the Super Bowl. 13, I know they were good then, and then 2014, they were the AFC Championship game where they like almost beat the Patriots twice, and then that was like, I remember that was the game with like all the ridiculous plays the Patriots came up with that it was like the Brady threw to a receiver and then the receiver hit a guy. Just all sorts of things they came up with to win that game. But obviously the Ravens, I think they were ahead twice in that game. And just for a few years there, they were a really good team. I mean, they were really, their defense, they were a hot team. So last season, I know they kind of like lost their quarterback to injury there. Flacco. And so they haven't really been the same since then. I mean, I know they kind of had that drop off last season where they went from, Super Bowl contender to, but even into this season, just the drop off with them is really something. So, I mean, especially a team that's used to being a contender, when you're not, it really makes you angry. So I'm going with the Ravens here. So next game up, 1 o'clock game, we got the Rams and we got the Lions. So I almost call them the St. Louis Rams. Nope, it's the LA Rams once again, and we got the Detroit Lions. I've got the Lions just because they're coming off that was a great game. If you watch the Lions play the Eagles this last week, great team win, great game to watch. I mean, it came down to the last second there. Detroit forcing that fumble. That was a great game. I mean, I don't want to call it. I mean, I know they're the Detroit Lions. I know they're not really about anything for the most part. So I don't want to get all hot and bothered talking up the Detroit Lions. But they're hot right now. They're coming off a good game. The Rams, they're not that much to deal with. I think you can beat them. So yeah, I'm going with Detroit. I think they're hot. They're motivated. The Rams, on the other hand, they've kind of had some trouble. But yeah, the Lions, I think they have an axe to grind here. They got something to prove, trying to win games here. They need some W's. Now, talking about a team that needs W's is this next matchup here. Another 1 o'clock game. We got the Carolina Panthers and the New Orleans Saints. Now, I was talking about with the Ravens, a team that's kind of fallen off. Oh my God, the Panthers from 15-1 to 1-4. Now, this is a fun fact here. The last team to have gone to a Super Bowl and then the next season start 1-4, you know which team it was? The 2004 Carolina Panthers, I believe, was the last team to go to a Super Bowl and then the next season start 1-4. So I don't know how you do that. It's a very rare thing to see a team go to the Super Bowl and then suck the next season. But, Cam Newton's out, I think with a concussion, right? He had some injury. So the Monday Night Football game there with the Panthers, their backup quarterback made some bad. He threw a pick at the end, there was a guy in the end zone. I think was it Olsen? I'm not sure. Was triple cut. He threw it in the cover 2, at the safe. Just a terrible decision. So I don't have high expectations for him. I'm not sure if he's playing again or not in this game. I don't know if Cam Newton's back. But anyways, the Panthers, they're in a hole. I mean, that is a drop off for sure. I mean, I think before the season started, they were top 5 in the power rankings. And now I'm seeing them down 20, 21, 18, 19, in that neighborhood. So yeah, no, I'm taking the Panthers with all that being said, just because they need to stay legitimate. To save face, they need to win games. They really need to win. And it's not that they don't have what it takes, because they do. But yeah, no, they need wins. They really do. Next game, 4 o'clock game, we got the Chiefs and the Raiders. I'm going with the Raiders just because it seems like they're kind of the trend line for them is kind of up. It seems like they are kind of getting their act together here. They're not the Oakland Raiders of the last few years. You can make the case they are, but I think that they're kind of starting to get their act together now at the right time. I'm going to go with the Raiders. Cowboys, oh boy, we got a nice game here. 4:25 game here on Sunday. We got the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. So, wow, this is I don't know why this isn't the Sunday Night Football game. So if you don't know how it works, the primetime games are all the best matchups because they wanted, because they know more people are watching TV then. So it's when they put their good games. The Sunday Night Football game is the Colts and the Texans. No, the Packers and the Cowboys should be the Sunday night game. I don't know if they can flex that or not, because sometimes they do that. But, obviously when they made these schedules, when back in May, I think, or late April when they made them, I don't think anybody would have thought the Cowboys, between Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott would be doing what they're doing now. So obviously, that's why they're at 4 o'clock. But really, that's a great matchup right there. I think that's the matchup of the week. It really is. If the next game here I'm about to talk about isn't. This might be controversial. I'm going to take the Packers just because the Cowboys, the success they've had, I know they're, Dak Prescott, he's a great backup, quarterback for Tony Romo, who's also pretty good. People are saying now Dak Prescott should take over for Romo. We're doing a Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe type thing over here. That seems to be the story of the season this year in the NFL so far, is backups being better than who they're backing up. That's, whether it's Dak Prescott and Tony Romo, Paxton Lynch and Trevor Siemian to some, except after this last game. I wouldn't, kind of say that. With the Patriots, I think it was their backup and Brady, is Brady going to be rusty? Is he going to be no good? Because their backup there, what's his name? The Italian kid, Garoppolo. He was looking pretty good until he got injured. I wouldn't say he's better than Tom Brady, but that's kind of been the discussion this season so far around the league. Has just been backups being better. Should you just kind of should you make the backup the starter? So that's what's kind of going on with Dallas. And so to that end, I think that the success the Cowboys had, and I just talked about this, in terms of the schedule, nobody expected really. Ezekiel Elliott is a horse. That guy, I'd take him any day of the week for fantasy or really anything. He's a great player. Prescott's been having success, but, and this is a giant but, this is a big ass but right here. The success has been unexpected with them, and I think that's kind of a weakness, is that they weren't expecting it. They're not sure, if that's who they, I don't think everybody's kind of amazed. Wow, the Cowboys are really coming out strong here. And the Packers, on the other hand, are used to being good. They're used to being a good team. You can make the case that Aaron Rodgers has kind of had hiccups here and there, and he definitely has. However, I think the Packers, they're used to being good. They know they're good. You can think about those deep balls Rodgers throws, from last season, those Hail Marys to the end zones. I mean, they know they're good, whereas the Cowboys, this has been kind of unexpected for them. So, the Cowboys are hot. It's time for them to lose games. I don't mean like I'm betting against them. Not betting. I mean, rooting against them. I'm not rooting against the Cowboys. I'm just saying that, the Cowboys, they're due to lose, because they're coming off a hot streak here. So, yeah, I'm going with the Packers. Next game, another 4:25 game, Falcons and the Seahawks. Falcons they looked great. They had a great showing against Denver in Denver. That's not an easy feat by any stretch. Yeah, I'm going with the Falcons. I'm going with the Falcons here just because they look... I think Denver's better than Seattle. I know Seattle beat them in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. But, we're talking about kind of two different teams now. No more Marshawn Lynch, different things like that. And so, following that logic, if the Falcons could beat Denver, then they can probably beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks, they're pretty good, but they're not the Seahawks of 2 years ago or 3 years ago. They've kind of come down a bit. Not a whole lot. They've been, plugging away. I think they're up in like the top 5 now in power rankings. That's kind of the problem with power rankings. I think some people kind of get sentimental about teams and just kind of expect them to be up in the top 5, so they put them there. And I think that's kind of going with Seattle. Not that Seattle's bad; they're pretty good. I think Pete Carroll and company. I think they're getting it together now. But the Falcons, they had a great showing against Denver. They're hot. They're ready to go. I'm going with the Falcons here. Next game. So we're down to 2 more here. Colts and Texans, 8:30. Like I said, I don't know why that's an 8:30 game. The Texans have really crapped the bed here with Osweiler. Ever since they got shut out in that game, who was that against? Let me just... Patriots, ever since they got shut out against the Patriots, they've really kind of come down. They've really been struggling there. Colts, on the other hand... Whatever, depending on what you think. This is another team. The Colts are a team people get sentimental about and just kind of judge them. And the Cowboys are another one. You can make a case for several of these teams. That people kind of get like their hopes and ambitions for the team confused with how they're actually doing. Like, kind of like clouds your judgment. So I'm not sentimental about the Colts at all. I'm not all on the Andrew Luck bandwagon or anything like that. Every time I think about the Colts, I think of that dumb play they called last season. Like, what was that? Like the fake punt. Remember that? So I'm going with the Texans just because they're due to win. That's another team that needs some W's, some more, checks in the W column. All right, so the last game here is the Monday night game. It's get the hell out of here. It's the Jets and the Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to win for sure. However, the Cardinals are not the Cardinals everybody expected them to be coming into the season. They were number 1 in pretty much everybody's power rankings going into this season until they lost their opener. And it's kind of been, I don't want to say downhill because they've had some, they've looked good in, some matchups. However, they're not what everybody made them out to be. They're really not. However, Larry Fitzgerald, another tremendous, tremendous player. Carson Palmer hasn't looked the best. He hasn't looked his best, but he's for real. Cardinals do have a lot of weapons for sure. Like I said, Larry Fitzgerald just every time I think about him, I think about what he did in the NFC division game against Green Bay. I think like that one run he had in overtime. They're for real. Even though they've struggled, they're playing the Jets. The Jets aren't about a whole lot, so I'm going to go with the Cardinals. And with that, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and everything. I really would like you to comment more than anything else. You don't have to like or subscribe or anything like that. Just leave a comment. Tell me what you thought, because this is the first video in a new series I'm trying to start out, so I'm trying to do a good job here, see what you guys think about it. So definitely let me know if there's something I can improve. The first thing I think I want to improve is I've gone on way too the hell long here. This has gone on too long here with these picks. I think I've been kind of too expository to some extent. But I just like football so much that I kind of have all these details to share about all the different teams and kind of what's been going on here. So I think I am going to try to condense this. I'm going to try not to go on for so long next time around. But yeah, any feedback, I'd love to hear it. But like I said, other than that, that's going to do it until next time, guys. Thanks for watching or listening. But yeah, anyways, until next time, that'll do it. Thanks, guys.